Good afternoon. Welcome to the Professor Maima Show. Hope you're doing well. You are ever watching me around the world. So today I want to give my reaction to President Ruto's X-Space. President Ruto's X-Space. So yesterday, the President of Kenya, Dr. William Samoi Ruto, held a X-Space on his account with the Gen Zs here in Kenya. It was very interesting talks. They covered many topics. So I want to give my reactions to his Twitter space with Gen Z. So it's the reaction to President William Ruto X Space with Gen Zs. So let me give you a background of how this thing started. I think 2 weeks ago, the youths in Kenya held a demonstration against the Finance Bill 2024 in Kenya that was intended to raise taxes so that the government can be able to meet its expenditure and also pay debt. You know, Kenya has 10 trillion, I think they said 10 trillion Kenya shillings debt, something to do with that. So now it was first peaceful. The Gen Z's majority went to the street to demonstrate, but after a while it morphed into violence, storming of the Kenyan parliament. Many Gen Zs were injured, others were killed. I think the last time I checked, the numbers was around 40, the ones who had died, which is very unfortunate. Loss of life in demonstrations, that was very high and unfortunate. So during the President Ruto's X-Space yesterday with the Gen Zs, certain issues came out. Off my head, number one was police brutality. The Gen Zs put the president to task about police brutality during the demonstrations, where police were using live bullets. And many Gen Zs, young people, demonstrators, let me just say, many demonstrators were shot, injured, and some died. The number 40 and above, according to reports. The president tried to answer it, but he somehow dodged the issues, did not answer it. So out of 10, I give him 3 out of 10 for his answers on police brutality. It came the issue of corruption. People gave examples of people who are corrupt in his cabinet, but the president tried to not to delegate blame, saying the parliament should oversee and other excuses. So for that, may give him 2 out of 10. Did not give a concrete answer on how he can deal with corruption and even the corrupt people in his government. Number 3 was about dissolving his cabinet. The president gave an answer saying that they are going to do an in-depth analysis on how the government can be made efficient, but did not give his commitment on firing cabinet ministers who are incompetent. But for that one, because he's going to do an analysis on how his cabinet can be improved, maybe downsizing it, moving ministers around, firing others, I give him 5 out of 10. Then there was the major issue of youth employment and employment more. So many youths in Kenya here are unemployed. The last time I checked, over 60% of youths, Gen Zs below 30, are unemployed. And even the ones who are employed, they're doing their own things. It's self-employment, hustling, hand to mouth, here and there. The president gave an example, said that they have a database of jobs, people can go and check and then get. See, those jobs cannot even be more than 200,000. And the people who are unemployed are in their millions. So for that, may give him 4 out of 10. Yes, he gave examples of jobs on government website, but did not come up with a concrete plan on how we can create jobs in Kenya. Yes. And then the issue of youth involvement in governance. He did not really give a solution to that, how we can involve the young people in leadership spaces, make them become more better leaders for tomorrow. That one I give him 0 out of 10. Do not give any answer on how you can involve these young people in governance. They can give them a chair at the table in terms of even giving a minister for youth or even more young people in cabinet so that they have their voice at the table. Because when you're not on the table, then your things are not heard. So that's what I'm talking about. So youth and involvement in governance was not answered. Then there also the issue of poor infrastructure in Kenya. He did not really answer that. He did not give a concrete, because another issue that Kenya has to improve is the infrastructure and transport. Our airports are in decaying, our roads are decaying, and even I was expecting such a question. Like the El Nino rains that rained a few months ago exposed our infrastructure is very poor. Our drainage system is poor. Our road network, our rail network. I expect someone to ask me a question. Mr. President, the El Nino rain shows that our infrastructure is in poor state. There's flooding of roads, highways were blocked. There's no rail network that can connect within the city and connect around the country. Our neighboring countries are doing electric, and as we're still petrol, diesel. I expected such an answer. Yes. So that one, me, I give him 0 out of 10. So all in all, it was a good space by the president. The youth were able to address the issues, most of them. And then the president gave his viewpoint. So me, my reaction is that in the whole express of the president, me, I give him 4 out of 10, which is below average. The president should now go back to his advisors, self-reflect, and come up with a concrete plan to address number one, corruption in government. How does he deal with corruption? Number two, dissolve his cabinet, downsize it, bring in new faces. Yes, they can be loyal to him and patriotic to the country, but they should be people who are young. In fact, the cut-off age should be, if I were to analyze it, should be even 50 years and below. Because at least 50 and going down, they're a bit closer to the Gen X. Even if you're a 50-year-old man or a 50-year-old woman, most of your children are in that age, that Gen Z age. So you'll understand anyone below 50. And then also dealing with youth unemployment. How can he deal with youth unemployment? Me, for him, I would convert Kenya into one big shamba. One big shamba. One big shamba like where I'm standing here. Where people grow agriculture, grow crops, keep cattle farming, value addition. That's what will create jobs. You have so many arid areas in Kenya where people just move around with cattle, cows. Ensure this livestock farming, ranches, this growth of these people are growing grass for it's called hay or whatever, cow feed. They're growing feed for the cows. That's all a big industry. You can have some counties just growing, specializing in cow feed, and then processing of agricultural products. This is a very important point, and that will create employment for the youth, and then involvement of the youth in politics in Kenya. These spaces, they are strong, but people are just talking. In fact, I'm suggesting let the Gen Zs have their own parliament, or how can I say, yes, let the Gen Zs have their own Gen Z parliament online, where people from different counties, in fact, they elect their own leadership in the counties, and then they bring them online, so that let's say if you're a county from where I come from, Busia, and you've been elected by your friends online, you can be addressing the issues that are affecting your county, and then people go and talk to them, to the MCAs. Or even if you don't want to be a leader, so that people are not targeted, you can say we are the youth of Busia County, and these are our issues, and you put them on Twitter space, this Twitter open. You can have a Twitter space at the county level, discussing issues in your county, and then tagging your MCAs, governor, so that you address them. No, Kenya is a big country. We have so many issues. Start at the county level. Create your own Twitter space in your counties, in your sub-counties, in your wards, so that and then at the national level, you have this bigger Twitter space. Now it becomes like a national assembly. I'm suggesting a parliament for the youths, virtual parliament, where we just discuss issues in the country. And then Once you have solidified those issues in a document, you present it to your MPs or senators to discuss. So I'm suggesting a virtual parliament for the Gen Zs. I don't know if you call it the Gen Z parliament, but this one is online, where you elect your own leaders, MP, senators, so that we discuss issues that affect you. So they have said I gave, my reaction is that I've given our president 4 out of 10 for his President Ruto's express in terms of addressing the issues affecting the youth in this country. And hope him, the president, and his cabinet pull their socks up. And even all the leaders in Kenya in general, they need to pull their socks up. Things are not so good. So this is the Professor Maima show. If you like what I've said in this channel, you can send something on the mobile M-Pesa there. +254 769 729 327. I repeat again, mobile M-Pesa +254 769 729 327. And as I always say, gwaheri ya kuonana, gwaheri.